Huzzah! He returns! Finally! Damn you, Virgin Media. Damn you to the pits of Hades. It was hard, bloody work, that. But here I am, in infinitely less pleasant, warm surrounds. No, I've gone from the glorious palm tree-laden streets of California to bloody freezing, squirrels frozen to the branches, pissed off ducks, and generally threaders wildlife. Finally, after a month-long hiatus, it's time for the BBC Spews with me, the Angry Bootneck. Get in. I'm out of practice, but it's like riding a bike after 12 cans of special brew. Let's have a go, shall we? It's time for your favourite Sunday news roundup. The only honest news roundup you will see in the United Kingdom, or even across the pond in the US of A. It's the BBC Spews. I hope the sound quality's alright. The lighting seems a bit shitty. Maybe I'll have to get a daylight bulb, right? The sunlight that I used to be bathed in over there is now absent. So maybe invest in some lighting. Anyway, here we go. First things first. I do love the BBC. I do. I love it. I love to hate it. I think I'll be devastated when the BBC inevitably vanishes. When the inevitable happens and the widely despised, inherently corrupt, detestable organisation is finally bulldozed and the earth salted so the British public can deny it ever existed. When that happens to the BBC, I think I'm going to actually be a little bit upset, because I don't know where else I'm going to read stories like the UK's black gay icons are worthy of recognition. Look at that in the middle. I was going to say the bloke in the middle, but these days you don't know, do you? You don't know. And if you do misgendering, apparently that's a hate crime. Misgendering is as vile a crime as the PE teacher getting caught dug up a teenager behind the bike sheds. It's something that is widely frowned upon. So you just can't do it, and YouTube will just instantly slam you and get rid of your channel. So I'm just going to say that in the middle. Looks like it's having a whale of a time. Isn't that mad? I remember reading an article years ago. You know that fake rape on campus story that was in Rolling Stone. If you haven't heard of it, Google it. But it was a scandal at the time. It was probably about 6 or 7 years ago now. But basically, it was a completely fictional account of a gang rape on a campus. And they published it as they would, social justice warriors, because it was slagging off men, saying that, we were all animals, and, 50% of women get raped on a college campus, yeah? Like it's worse than Mogadishu going to some upper middle class college in America. Everyone knows it's nonsense. But they don't care about facts or fact-checking, so they ran it, and sure enough, it all turned out to be completely fictional. And I remember reading it, and they were talking about how, they used me like an animal. They kept referring to me as it. It was like, grab its legs and hold it down. And I remember thinking, that is terrible. That is sort of dehumanising language, to use their own rhetoric. And now, they want you to call everyone it, right? It's like, oh no, don't say him. It might not be a him. Don't say she. It might not be a she. Go with it. That'll make everybody feel good about themselves. It's really weird. But it. Let's just go with it. The UK's black gay icons are worthy of recognition. I agree, Otamia Gobadia. I agree. But here's the thing. Are you going to tell me with a straight face that they aren't getting recognition? Like, honest to God, every time I've turned on the TV in the month I've been back in the UK, I am bombarded with black gay icons. You would think Britain was 99% black and 60% gay, like by the amount of screen time, recognition, and general hijinks the UK's black gay icons are apparently getting up to in the public sphere. I would assume I was living on planet gay black. You would think that was where we are, because they're not just getting recognition, they are over-represented on every level. And it's mad that nobody ever talks about this. Nobody ever talks about this. Britain is a European country that was 99.999% white in like 1950. And most people are straight because of evolutionary biology. Because guess what? If we weren't, we would have gone extinct, right? That's why sex is pleasurable and you have a lot of nerves on your genitals. Biology lesson 101, right? The reason it feels nice is because of science. Richard Dawkins taught me this when I was an insufferable atheist when I was 20 and I started reading all of his books. It feels nice, so you want to do it. Because if you didn't want to do it, we would have went extinct. That's how it works. If people of the opposite sex don't shag each other regularly, your species doesn't last very long. No. So most people are heterosexual and most people aren't black in Europe, right? But when you turn on Sky fucking News, you would think you were living in RuPaul's fucking Drag Race, The Planet, yeah? If we couldn't get volunteers for the Mars mission, so they said, fuck it, send RuPaul and 30 of his best mates, Planet Gay Black. You would think that's where we're living. But it's not, it's England. So I agree with the sentiment in that sentence. You guys know me by now. I'm just a common sense centrist. I am not in any way reactionary or unreasonable. I think anyone that's settled in the UK and pays the taxes and chips in like we all do to make the country good should be given recognition. And gay people that happen to be black and people that happen to be gay, tick that box. I think they should get recognition too. But don't fucking tell me, BBC, that that's not already happening. Because you look out that window and you are stunned to see dull 50-year-old white man walking the dog with his dull 50-year-old white wife. You're stunned to see it. Because according to the television networks, they are as rare as rocking horse shit. You expect every time you look out your window to be greeted with, well, that. And you're not. You're just not, are you? So it's weird how no one talks about it. It says, who and what burns brightly enough to single themselves out as worthy of the highest praise? No figure is more litigated than the gay icon. Litigated, to me, suggests that they get sued a lot. I don't know. I don't fully understand his use of the English language there. What? Litigated? Resort to legal action to settle the matter. I don't get that. Are gay people getting sued quite regularly? No idea. Maybe that's because being a good writer and having a comfortable grasp of the English language is apparently not required by the BBC anymore. All they care about is, you know, your colour and your sexuality and your fucking intersectional box ticking. So maybe Ottomy is not a very good fucking writer, but that sentence doesn't really make sense to me. Stans plant their Avis as flags in the ground on Twitter. They spam self-made fan cams to the world and they fiercely, viciously argue over their most beloved divas and camp fixtures. Stans plant their Avis as flags. Honestly, is there anyone who's now sort of a professional gay that speaks in clearly discernible language? It's just gobbledygook, isn't it? Gobbledygook. These days, if you're infatuated with someone, it's not 3 little words you need to say. It's 2. I stan. Ugh. Listen. From Eminem's song Stan. God, I just hate the way they talk. I'm not doing it. I'm not reading it anymore. I've had enough. Icons are deeply personal chosen avatars, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, listen. Do you want me to read anymore? I've changed my mind. I'm not doing it. Fuck it. Word soup, gobbledygook. Everybody should worship at the altar of gay black icon. Fine. Do what you like. But please, BBC, just do news. Right? Just do news. Every time I click on a news story, I see this shit coming up in the feed. It's like, news. This isn't news. They're already getting recognition. To use the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're doing fine. That's why everybody wants to move here, yeah. Probably not doing so well in fucking Somalia or Iran, yeah. So, let's just crack on. Report the news. Let's talk about world affairs and weather. And stop bombarding me with this endless stream of non-news shite that nobody needs to read. Yeah? Let's move on. Do some proper news, shall we? Don't even know Jojo Seaways, but apparently she's never been this happy after coming out. So can we finally then, leading on from the last story, just nail on forever and just kill it dead, this idea that it requires Stunning and Brave to come out in 2021. I mean, it's a good thing in my eyes. Again, I'm not homophobic, transphobic, any of them. it's good that these people don't get harassed, because ultimately none of us choose our sexuality. Women are a pain up the arse. If I could pick, I'd probably be massively into cock. But sadly I'm not. I'm forced into tits, so I have to deal with peculiar silences, insistences that she's alright when she is definitely not alright, and an inability to choose what fucking restaurant we go to. So I'm not having to go at anyone for the sexuality, but can we just kill it forever now? It doesn't require bravery. You know what requires bravery in this day and age? It requires bravery to come out and go, you know what? I fucking hate those filthy... Anyone does that, they have got bollocks like coconuts, because that requires bravery. Is this just not a self-evident fact to anybody listening? Right? In 2021, it doesn't require any effort or bravery at all to come out as gay. None. In fact, you will be venerated with praise, like Philip Schofield, right? Filthy bastard that he is, fucked his entire family over, fucked his wife and kids over, borderline nonce, but because he happens to be gay, what would have been crucifixion for a straight man was universal praise for a privileged white man, millionaire, borderline nonce. Right, so let's just say from now on, right, these stories, again, shouldn't be stories. She doesn't need any emotional support, because coming out makes you an icon and a hero in and of itself. I seriously wish I was raving homosexual, because then I bet maybe YouTube would promote me instead of hiding all my videos like they do. Paz, he's been getting hammered lately, hasn't he? If me and Paz released a video on BitChute of us chewing each other off, yeah, daisy chaining round his fucking living room while lubed up, YouTube would put us on the front fucking page. Right? That's the world we live in. The people that need support are straight white people, because anything on the victimhood pyramid gets endless praise and support, even if they don't deserve it. Philip Schofield. Even if they do things reprehensible. Philip Schofield. Even if they do things that you think are deeply immoral and shameful. Philip Schofield. They get praised. So let's just forget about it, right? We don't need to read this, don't need to support her. She's getting plenty of support. Jojo is buzzing her fucking tits off because everyone from the BBC down is lining up to give her praise that she may or may not deserve. Maybe she's a piece of shit. Maybe she is. Maybe she kicks puppies, pushes old ladies down the stairs, and fiddles her fucking taxes. But they don't care, because as long as you're a fanny nosher, they will praise you to the fucking hilt. Well, if you're a woman, right? Not me. I'm a very occasional fanny nosher, and nobody gives me any credit for it at all. Oh no, still no news, still no proper news. Let's find at least one piece of proper news. I covered this one in a comment. Look, right. Listen, if you're that... They keep saying that Brexit is not class warfare, yeah? It's not the upper and middle classes waging war on the populace, the masses, because they dared to disagree with the elites. And then they print stories like this, right? I was asked to pay an extra £82 for my £200 coat. You fucking... How lacking in self-awareness are you? If you're well aware that we all laughed when that fat bird on TV went, who's going to make my coffee in Pret? English people won't do that job, even though they do, and they always have. If you're well aware that we laugh at middle-class arseholes for saying such demonstrably ridiculous shit, why on earth would you print a story like, my absurdly expensive designer jacket imported from Belgium got a small amount of extra tax put on it? If you can afford to spunk 200 quid up the wall for a fucking... Well, look at the clip of that. I hope that's not the jacket, because that looks like a fucking shell suit top you get from a dodgy market. An Adibok shell suit from Ormsby Market. She got to pay an extra £58 in customs duties. So woe is me, boo-hoo-hoo, cancel Brexit. What, 20 million people voted for it? Fuck off. I have to pay more for my middle-class jacket. How about, love, you stop fucking dripping with your middle-class fucking problems. Buy yourself a nice Slazenger onesie from Sports Direct, and then put a bit more money into beauty products, because you look like you've been apple bobbing in a deep fat fryer. And unless you're shooting for bedraggled streetwalker recovering from a beating by the local pimp, your hair needs a fucking snip as well. So I would suggest you sort other parts of your life out before you start moaning about your overpriced designer fucking jacket. And yeah, BBC, you should know better. You know that I'm going to laugh at you for printing this fucking shit, and you insist on doing it anyway. Sort your life out. PM talks to Biden in first call since inauguration. There he is laughing at that. That's not his phone call with Biden. That's him. He's ringing a pizza or something, right? Fatty can only look that happy if he's ringing a pizza. There's no way he's talking to Biden there. And Biden won't remember the phone call, so yet another non-story, right? Because that dotty owl bastard is definitely rowing on one fucking oar. Yeah, there's a light on, but there is definitely no cunt home. So that's pointless. Wasting your time talking to bungling Biden. Just let him crack on and do his thing. I would just seriously postpone all my efforts or direct them all to Kamala Harris. Because if he sees his term out, I will eat air with a donkey. It's not happening. It is not happening. If he doesn't shuffle off in the next 12 months, I'll be astounded. So apparently Biden's talking to the PM. We know that they're all career politicians. I'm sure it'll get on fine. I think people are overstating this thing about Biden hating Britain and stuff. Biden's one of them ignorant Irish Americans who knows absolutely nothing about Ireland or Britain. But I don't think he's actively hostile to the UK. He's been in politics 45 years. That's one of the reasons I despise him. But he's the very definition of a career politician. So I don't see him doing anything radical with regards to relations to the UK. Ultimately, the President of America knows that the UK is a relatively strong and relatively powerful country for its size, and they need an ally, right? And the Anglosphere is a natural ally. So I don't see anything drastic changing with our relationship. I don't think it's the end of the world that he apparently, stuck Churchill's bust in the broom cupboard and wheeled something out with Castro on it, whatever he did. Whichever communist icon he decided to put in his place. It's showboating for the liberal extremists. And I don't think it's going to spell disaster for the UK-US relationship. That is far more important than one or two elections. It endured Obama, Bush, Clinton. It seems to not really rest on individual politicians' policies. So don't flap about Biden from a UK standpoint, is my opinion. But we'll see if I'm wrong. If he really is going to start pandering to the extremists, even though he's never been one in his political career, I'd be very, very surprised. But he's completely lost his marbles, so who knows what drunk grandpa's going to do. Maybe I'll be wrong. Apparently smart motorways are actually thick as fuck, yeah? Abacus motorways. It says a police and crime commissioner has written to the government to say smart motorways are thick as fuck. He said they are inherently unsafe and dangerous and should be abandoned. So the coroner said 2 men had been unlawfully killed on a smart section of the M1. Definitely not that smart then, is it? Department for Transport said smart motorways are as safe as or safer than conventional ones. Conventional ones, to be honest, not the cleverest things in the world, are they? Inanimate fucking objects, are they? Right? Lumps of concrete with a bit of paint on them. Not usually the most sensible items in society. I mean, they're not at the very bottom, right? Because we've got the general public, cats, dogs, rats, concrete, asphalt and paint laden structures, and then Labour politicians. So they're not at the very bottom rung, but yeah, I wouldn't expect infrastructure to be particularly intellectually gifted. Again, weird that I have to point these things out. The real issue appears to be that apparently there's no hard shoulder, which is weird, and I don't fully understand how they're going to get around that. You need a hard shoulder, right? Unless I'm missing something. If your car breaks down and there's no hard shoulder, what are you meant to do? Climb over the fence and run off into the woods? What do you do with the car? If your hazard lights are broken, someone's going to twat it at 90 mile an hour. So I personally, on a serious note, doesn't sound the smart roads are a very smart idea. But again, you can't get enough from one story. I'm going to have to look into that a bit more. Who knows? Sturgeon, I did not mislead. Have you noticed how politicians never ever say the word lie? Have you noticed that? They lie more than a cheap naffy watch. And they never ever ever say the word lie. Did someone tell them that mislead sounds better? Like if someone goes, oh yeah, I did lie, you'll go, bastard. But if they go, oh, I did mislead my wife and shag a few strippers, you'll go, well, you're only misled her. What's a bit of misleading between married men and prostitutes? Really strange to me that they never say it. I did not mislead. Mislead? Just, no, you lied. All politicians do is lie. We know that that's all you do. All politicians do is fucking lie. Everybody knows it. Lawyers and politicians, and most politicians are both, which is fucking marvellous, isn't it? Like, we made a job for professional liars, politicians, and we made a job for apprentice liars to learn how to do it, and that's fucking lawyers. That's how bad it's got. But they won't ever say the word lie. Don't, Nicola, the term you use is not the important part. We're not going to suddenly like it less because you call it lying. The problem is the fucking lying, not the synonym you use for being a lying twat. You can call yourself a misleading fucker, or you can call yourself a lying twat. They're pretty much up there in on the same level. So just say the L word. Say, listen, I'm a little lying poison dwarf with the charisma of a fucking rattlesnake with a hangover, and everybody hates me because I'm a fucking evil, malevolent pixie, communist fuckhead. Nice and easy, rolls off the tongue, that, doesn't it? She said false conspiracy theories were being spun about her. Fuck off. Alex Salmon told them that she fucking lied her tits off, and he's got the proof. So let's just accept it, shall we? Instead of saying you will refute it vigorously. The language they use, again, commies, aren't they? Socialists, postmodernists, commie fuckers, they're all the same. They all use deliberately slippery language because they think we're fucking idiots. They don't credit the general public with any intellect whatsoever, and they think if they use slippery language, we'll all just go, there was some long words. Maybe she's alright after all. I can't understand the things she says, so I'll just go with the default setting of everything she said was nice and good. I mean, how thick do they think we are? Slippery language equals, therefore didn't lie. No, you did. And I never thought back in the day that I could dislike anyone more than that. Fat, sweaty, stinking, Mr. Toad-looking fucking frog in a suit. But somehow, Nicola Sturgeon's managed it. So, yeah, if I have to pick between those two, which one I want to see destroyed, it is Sturgeon. So I don't know why that is. Well done, Nicola. Well done. You somehow made yourself more detestable than Alex Salmond. Thanks, I've been going on for a while, so I think I'll call it there. I'm just finding my feet again. It's been a while. The lighting's terrible. I hope the sound's not awful. Let's wrap it up for the week, shall we? That was the BBC Spews. I am the Angry Bootneck, and I'm back in the saddle. Hopefully I'll find some more comical stories for next episode. Thanks for sticking with me for the last month, sharing my videos and doing all that. I really do appreciate it, and I've enjoyed the endless coaxing and encouragement. Well, I say encouragement, it was British encouragement, right, predominantly. So, like, do some work, you lazy bastard, sort your fucking life out. Did Muhammad Ali cut your hair with his boxing gloves on? That type of thing. I do appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for liking and sharing, as you always do. And I'll be back very soon, probably tomorrow now. I've got an internet connection, a shitty sub-zero apartment, and very little else to do. So I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.